Hello everyone! After I ran a tutorial Cyberpunk made easy game for my players, they wanted to continue and make their own edgerunners for the setting. And so, after I ran another game for them, I decided to make a samurai's tale of their exploits in Night City. This is their story. This is their legend in the making. So please, enjoy. My crew and I have just stepped on the stage of edge running. We got the go-get-em attitude and tough guy routine down. We just need the eddies to pay the bills. Luckily, a fixer, some chum named Laszlo, was out looking for some fresh meat at El Coyote Coho. We jumped at the chance and met with the man. He was an okay guy. Kinda had a nervous tick, but hey, he's got the clients and we needed the job. Tonight it was just me and 3 other chums I worked with. Sidewinder, our getaway driver, Micah, the tech wizard, Hawk, our resident netrunner, and me, Smoke, the solo. Tonight Laszlo pointed us to our client, who was some lady in her late 40s, Mrs. Calhoun. Her husband is some low-rank exec at Continental Brands, though recently he may be up for some promotion. Unfortunately, Mr. Calhoun has made some enemies in the process. One of them, his wife. Looks like the old man has been sneaking around with some new side piece, and his wife has had enough. She wants to hire some edgerunners to kidnap her husband and his new mistress. Details of it would be after we talk to the client at a neutral locale. The job sounds like something we could handle, so we accepted. We met our client at some place in Haywood, a place called Strong Tower Luxury Apartel. Nothing luxurious about it. This is a neighborhood that has seen better days. Sidewinder and Mika had to stay with the car just to make sure no one stupid would try to get at her. Me and Hawks, we went in to meet with the client. The inside was no better than the outside. Smelled of mold, and the guy at the desk was some weird skinny dude in a bellhop uniform. Hiya. We are looking for Mrs. Calhoun? I asked the man at the front desk. He looks up with a smile. Ah, you must be the Madame's guests. Yes, she has been expecting you. 3rd floor, room 313. Thanks, as I said while heading up the stairs. We went to the room and knocked on the door. Some gruff male voice answered from the other side. Yeah, what do you want? I responded. Yeah, Laszlo sent us? Then some big Samoan dude with a golden jaw opened the door. Looks like he was eyeing us for quite a while, but eventually he let us in. Mrs. Calhoun was looking out the window, smoking something. Good-looking broad, though the age lines are revealing a bit. She spoke after throwing a chip on the bed. You'll find details of my husband's schedule on that chip, along with what he looks like and his supposed mistress. Your best chance to get at him would be tonight. He is a member of a prestigious little club in Japantown. It's called the Jade Dragon. He's meeting with her there. I grabbed the chip and asked for some other details to help us get to him. Mrs. Calhoun was forthcoming with her reply. The chip will give one of you a temporary membership to the club, though you may need to change your, she looks over at our getup, our weapons. Well, style. They won't let anyone in so armed. Protection for their clients and all that. though their bodyguards may be able to smuggle and conceal some sidearms for themselves. But security will deal with the violent bunch if need be. Now, here's the final line. I want you to bring both my husband and his tramp to me here tonight. I will transfer the eddies once you arrive with them, both alive. Boy, we wanted a job, and we got it all right. Before heading to Japantown, we had to make a stop. We needed the right getup to get us in, but man, these business threads are more expensive than my gun. We begged and haggled and even tried to pickpocket some random folks to get us a full set of threads. By the way, Mika was the one to try pickpocketing, which failed so spectacularly that the girl caught him reaching for her purse and maced him in the eyes. Oh, and he is supposed to be our sniper. Anyway, we decided I would be going in dressed as some corpo to get at Mr. Calhoun. We got there in time, just as the man himself arrived with 2 goons of his own. It was easy enough to get in, the chip worked, and I even got my concealed pistol inside. But I may have stood out a bit to the staff, not really portraying myself as a man with, well, means and money. But job means doing, and I had to find a target. J-Dragon may be more of a casino than a club. Lots of folks gambling about. The place has a nice 18th century theme along with some hollow cherry blossoms indoor. It took me a while to get a lock on to Mr. Calhoun, but I spotted him going to the VIP rooms with some Indian beauty around his waist. Guess I found the mistress. Now, how to deal with the bodyguards. I saw them going to one of the more private sections, and the 2 guards keeping watch. I had to contact the crew to see how they could help me out. They decided to go to Mr. Calhoun's car and activate its silent alarm. But it's in one of their basement parking and only staff and members can get in. Luckily, there was only one security keeping watch. Hawk, our netrunner, snuck in and jacked into one of the cameras. He got them in a loop before jacking out with no one the wiser. He and Mika then got around the security and into the parking area. They found Mr. Calhoun's car, and with Mika's multi-tool cybernetic hand, he got inside with no problem. He triggered the silent alarm, which got one of the bodyguards to leave his station to check it out. Mika and Hawks then went for the staff elevator and went looking for some disguises. They luckily found the staff locker room and hastily put on the uniform. Unfortunately, the staff of J-Dragon has a light tattoo on their face with some Japanese characters on it, so they may trick some of the clients inside, but the staff would immediately suspect. In the meantime, outside the club, as soon as the bodyguard came out, Sidewinder backed up his car, almost hitting the man. There was a face down and argument after, which was all to plan. Sidewinder has now delayed the bodyguard. Hawk and Mika, in their disguise, went for the staff elevator, again to meet with Smoke at the VIP lounge. Unfortunately, one of the staff was there as soon as the elevator door opened. She had immediately spotted something was wrong and tried to yell out. Mika and Hawk, they both slammed her to the steel elevator and knocked her out. Stuffing the body in one of their spare service trolleys, it was there that sparked an idea to get both Mr. Calhoun and his mistress out of J-Dragon. We decided to just knock them out and stuff them in some spare service trolleys covered in a white sheet. The duo made it to the VIP lounge and meeting with Smoke. They needed to act fast. The bodyguard, arguing with Sidewinder, had now slipped away and was heading for Mr. Calhoun's car. while the other bodyguard was still in front of the private room. We decided to just rush at him. Before the bodyguard could go for his weapon, we rammed the service trolley onto him as I used my wolvers to slash at his neck. The gonk was at death's bed when he suddenly fired out a shot and managed to contact his partner to return. I finished him off with one more slice and went to the VIP room. Security would be on us soon. Outside, Sidewinder noticed the other bodyguard suddenly running back, as he then pressed on the accelerator of his car to crash into him. The bodyguard was hurt and on the ground. Sidewinder then booked it before security would come for him, guns blazing, his car suddenly speeding away. Meanwhile, we rushed inside. We managed to enter the room with a naked Mr. Calhoun and his mistress. The man was mad, spouting off threats and curses, while the mistress, panicking and screaming. We knocked them both out and stuffed them into the service trolleys. That's when club security arrived at the next hallway, shooting at us with Satara shotguns. We used the doorways as cover and rushed back to the elevator. We barely made it and managed to contact Sidewinder for a pickup. Sidewinder then drove through the parking guardhouse as the security in duty jumped out for safety. We met up with Sidewinder in the parking lot as we threw Mr. Calhoun and his mistress at the back trunk. We used duct tape to tie them up. As we got in the car, Sidewinder turned on his NOS Nitro and sped away from Japantown. Looks like we were able to get out quickly enough as no one pursued. They may still be investigating what had happened that night. We arrived back at the Strong Tower Luxury Apartel and brought the bodies of both Mr. Calhoun and his mistress inside. Looks like the bellhop guy wasn't surprised or gonna do anything about it. All he said was, "Have a pleasant stay, the madame is expecting you." Then he smiled like it was nothing. Creepy little dude. We delivered Mr. Calhoun and his mistress alive, though battered up and groggy. Mrs. Calhoun thanked us for her services and transferred our pay. Mrs. Calhoun then extended some sharp cybernetic nails from her right digits, as she joyfully licked at the cybernetics in front of the now awoke and panicked Mr. Calhoun. "Do you like it, darling? I had them installed just for you." We didn't stick around to watch, but when room 313 was shut, we heard some of the nastiest, blood-curdling scream. Man, remind me not to get on the wrong side of a woman scorned. Not our problem now. We got paid, and we made it out alive. Sounded like a good night in Night City.